13th floor. The 13th floor.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. I am your moderator, B. Jones, and I got the squad with me today. First up, my man, back in the saddle, Jay Dace, our beloved intern. What's happening?
What's going on, man? It's good to be back. Missed you guys, missed the people. Hope that y'all miss me. And let's make it happen, man.
Let's make it happen. Hashtag try for 52. Hey, Faison, I'm coming your way, man. Get that old Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was 2 weeks ago, bro. Leave it. It's in the past, bro. It's done.
The Super Bowl will last forever until there's another championship. I want to ride this out till the wheels pop.
I heard they're putting a statue of the eagle next to Rocky.
That would be too much, but not yet.
They need to take that doggone Rocky statue down.
Put an eagle on Rocky's shoulder.
Rocky is an American icon, man.
Rocky deserves what he got. He got a spot. I mean, he's at the old stadium, the Spectrum, which no one even goes to anymore. But they moved him, right? I think somewhere else. But yeah, I am going to enjoy this championship of the world, as I throw quotes in the air because they only play in London, but that's cool. So, yes, this is great. I'm going to enjoy it. But it's great to be here. Looking forward to this.
Glad to have you. And on to the worst team in NFL, Mike D. What's happening?
I'm going to own that 0-16, baby.
No, it's at the parade front center. Let's go.
I'm going to own it. Go Browns.
Who y'all taking first round pick? Who y'all taking?
Who cares? It don't matter.
That's what we talk about. He adjusted his expectations. Ain't that right, Coach K?
Yes, sir. Adjust your expectations.
And last but not least, we got Mr. Fresh 3000s with the Derby on. What's happening, bro?
You know, we are out here, Kryptonic, all that good stuff. Excited as usual. Are you ready to get it? Because we are. Shalom.
I'm ready to get it, man. It's Black Panther week. I'm excited. Y'all got your tickets?
Yes, I got my tickets. I got an outfit for Namdi to wear on Black Panther Friday. I got my shirt to wear. I got a special.
Is it
special new
just a Black Panther shirt?
Got a new little set.
Why do you act like you guys had to go buy stuff?
You feel me?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, what is the outfit?
Knowing you guys already have multiple print.
House of Teo all through the House Day phase on.
Yeah, listen, I needed him to have an outfit that he can fit properly. It's been passed down to Arenze. So Namdi now has a new outfit that he can wear. Even though his class is, I would say, 75% Indian, and they have no idea, those kids, I will be the proudest dad walking in there on Black Panther Friday saying, here you go, buddy. So that was more for me and for the fact that I wanted
What is the outfit, though? Is it like...
It's a full, complete, like, pants, long shirt, Black Panther on the front, and he's in his straight warrior wear.
Can you send me one as well? I'm sure I'll be able to fit it too.
We got to get that on the Facebook page, man. We got to get Namdi on the Facebook page.
We need the pics.
I got to get the wife. But if she says yes, you got
I really wanted to go see it Thursday night, but I couldn't pull that off. So we're going
10:30 showing.
We're going 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
Is it BJ going Thursday?
Nice.
I think BJ said he going Thursday. I know I'm going Friday, and I'm probably going. Well, if I can get tickets, I'm gonna go back again Saturday. Take the father-in-law and maybe Nia, depending on how bad the violence and such is, the action and everything. But yeah,
it's too bad. It's PG.
I know it's PG-13.
Is it PG?
So
yeah, it's not R.
13. Yeah, it's 13, I think.
Oh, I didn't know. I mean, up to last week, the rating wasn't out yet, so.
Oh, I just assumed that Marvel version is usually PG-13. They don't go to the R section of it.
The only one R is
Deadpool.
Fox. All the Fox movies go R. So when they do the merger, they probably keep that whole dark Marvel side R, which makes sense.
Deadpool is never going to be PG-13.
I was about to say, you cannot make that PG-13. It will lose.
Deadpool, Punisher, Daredevil shouldn't be. All these guys are straight killers, and they can't make them friendly.
Daredevil?
Yes.
My bad. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I thought you were the junior. I thought you.
You saw the lean forward? You saw the lean forward?
Electra is that way.
He's like, I thought you were the junior comic book guy. What do you mean? Yeah, man. But as excited as I am about the movie, that soundtrack though, I know a few of us got an opportunity to listen to it. Yeah, I think Kendrick, he missed the mark with that one. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I know Curl jumped out there on the ledge first listen. I listened to it once and I listened to it a couple more times this weekend, and I felt like he was going for what Jay-Z did with American Gangster, and fell well short of that, man, for several reasons. First of all, he's on too many doggone songs.
Good point. I was trying to think of an album that was specific to that one. So I was talking to Fresh before about Waiting to Exhale and Boomerang soundtracks, how they were like iconic and they would be ever be played. But I couldn't think of like a rap album, and American Gangster is literally, that was a perfect album for that movie. It's perfect.
Yeah, I think that's what he was going for, man, especially with the executive producer credits. But a lot of the dissonance around the album, like Carol pointed out, it being an opportunity to showcase a lot of great things as far as the culture is concerned. There's at least 3 songs that just shouldn't have made the album.
Yes.
And then like everything, the creativity is there, but again, I don't know why he's on every song and they didn't do what they needed to do as far as showcasing. I guess they got a couple South African artists on there, but it's just not as powerful as it should be to go alongside the movie and everything.
At all. And like I was trying to say, I think they missed an opportunity because we just look at how broad and how comprehensive and how far the movie's going to spread, right? So you have this introduction to this fictitious black country. However, it is the most rich country and there's all the tradition. And even if you look at the premiere, look at the red carpet premiere that they turned into a purple carpet, right? And everybody was all dressed up in royalty. And now we got another soundtrack coming out there with same old bitches and niggas and all types of stuff. I mean, like, people are taking their kids to the movie and everything. You can't let them listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, man. And it's like, it was a selfish attempt, I feel like, at the end of the day. I know what he was trying to do with it, especially being his first leap out there into the executive producing thing, I think, for him. But I feel like he has to have learned a lot of lessons from this, especially he getting a lot of backlash I saw from the All the Stars video, and some of the artwork that we use in there is supposedly been taken from some other artists, and it was an exact copy, I believe, of the lights, I think, that they had on Africa, if you've seen the video. But just that in itself is like, why would you steal something, or why are you even in a position where somebody can even claim that? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything should be just clean, perfectly put together, so that it achieves such great success and hits on those high expectations.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I haven't heard the soundtrack. However, I think it's wrong until you have the opportunity to see the soundtrack and play with the movie and understand potentially what his motivation was for the songs that were on there. I do, from the outside looking in, think it is kind of odd to have yourself featured so heavily across a soundtrack album, because I definitely cannot think of, except for, like the Ray soundtrack, and Jamie Foxx is all over it, but it's because he's singing Ray. Like, you know what I mean? Where it would be a valid point for that. But at the same time, I feel that it's, my favorite, it's the double-edged sword. That one piece does feel sword, like liquid swords. One side of me does feel that there was an opportunity missed to create this impactful and powerful moment through the soundtrack. However, I also, as initially stated, until I see it in completeness with the visuals that it's supposed to represent. I think it's unjust just to go off of, oh man, this man said nigga on the record 20 times, so it automatically is destroying. Like, if the scene and what's going on is involving and depicted and can, you know, be that street almost in a sense appeal, it might be valid in it was, you know, a real attempt to connect with the.
Look here, man.
You gotta listen to it.
I think that they're saying,
when you go see the movie and Killmonger tries to come in, they ain't gonna say, "What's this nigga doing here?"
I think what Brett and Carol
Cue
are
Kendrick Lamar.
it's bigger than the movie. You know what I mean? Like the message and the power that they could have displayed in the soundtrack, it went beyond the movie. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the movie credits are gonna roll, and we still have to live on. So there's something that we could have took on with us. That's the vibe I'm getting from Carol and Brett. But do you think, without having heard the soundtrack, right? Is there any way that you think that he may have had to compromise?
No.
Like
So-
maybe he wanted to go that direction.
No.
I tried to play that position because, like, you you playing devil's advocate now. I tried to do that for my first like 2 or 3 listens because there's a couple songs like King's Dead. As of now, I don't feel like it should have been on the album. It's a great standalone song, but I can't figure out a scene that's gonna match. And then it ain't all of the song. I think J-Rock is on that, but Future's verse on that, and I'm a huge Future fan. That's my boy. But I gotta side with Faison on this one. He don't have no place on that song or really on the album with what he brought to the table. And it's like 2 other songs. I think it's a West
Ready
Coast
for him to be passed.
it's a West Coast group on there, and it's like it's one more song on there. But you gotta kind of listen to it, and then I guess formulate your opinion to see if it kind of still holds true. Because I tried that. Like, there's a couple of songs. Okay, yeah, I could see if there's a club scene or some type of social scene in Wakanda or whatever. The way the beats and the drums and everything are going, like, yeah, that might fit. But to your question, Jay, it is a commercial product at the end of the day. So I tried to have that stance as well. TDE, Interscope, Aftermath, whoever is all the record labels involved, they're only going to give them so much leeway, right? But you had enough leeway to put yourself on 12 or 14 songs, I believe it is. So creatively speaking, I think he had a lot of room, and I think he was trying to do a lot as far as putting certain artists and certain people and certain songs out there, which is okay. I mean, he had that space to do it, but as we said earlier, in the grand scheme of things, like, you know, you kind of missed one opportunity to take advantage of something else. And that's why I feel like the selfishness kind of came into play. And the only other piece of work that I could compare it to is something like American Gangster, which was probably one of Jay-Z's best albums, versus this Black Panther album for Kendrick. And I can't really say the same.
Yeah. Point of information, JC's best album is Kingdom Come.
What?
Just kidding. Everyone hates that album. I actually enjoyed it, but everyone hates that album. There's a lot of comic references in the album, and it made me laugh, and I enjoyed it.
I mean, I guess, yeah, for the content perspective, but yeah, no.
Gotta throw a wrench in there sometimes. You know, keep the energy level.
That was like throwing a live grenade.
Oh man, so
Shooting lime juice in everybody's eye.
you feel me? But keeping along with the Black superheroes, man, you know, we've been continuing to support and watch Black Lightning, and there's a particular scene from, I think, either the 2nd or the 3rd episode that I want to get you guys' opinion on, as fathers, and Jay soon to be one of these days after, you know, him and Kristen, you know, get it all official or whatever. But they have a scene in there, man, where they go through the talk or whatever with his 16 or 17-year-old daughter, however old she is. And it was hilarious to me because it was very liberal and she was very mature about it. I guess I could kind of say, but it was something that you almost I don't think you would ever see as a parent. But as a parent, I think it's possibly something that you would want to have your child do. But I guess I'll get you guys' take in a second. But to put it in a frame, daughter comes in talking to mom and dad before dinner comes, and she's like, well, I wish my sister was here because I had something I wanted to run past you guys. I think I'm ready to have sex. Mom and dad jaw just drops. And that's the end of that scene. So they bring it back at the dinner table, and she basically is laying out to them, all right, I have this guy. This is my boyfriend. This is the day I want to do it. This is the time I'm going to do it. I'll be back home by this time, but this is how it's going to work out. And mom and dad are trying to throw everything they kind of can at her. Dad is not as responsive as he probably should be, but they're talking about, oh, we think you should, make sure this is somebody that you love and be with forever or whatever. So she asked them, oh, so you guys, the first time you did it, that was it? So you've only been with each other? And they just, again, jaws drop, no response. So that's when she comes back and says, okay, well, I guess, this is what's going to happen. I'll be home after such and such, but it's a hotel, after school, blase, blase. Basically lays it out on the line. And parents just left it at that.
The
right?
disrespect, though.
Is it disrespectful?
Well, no, see.
Well,
I'm
initially, look,
I'm boys.
Hold on. Everybody can't talk at the same time. Jay, you jumped out there. No kids. Is it disrespectful? Go.
I would say, yeah, only because, I think that I definitely would want my children to be able to talk to me about anything. But in a manner, I think it's not so much what she said, but how she did it. Like, hey, this is about to happen, and I'm telling you exactly how it's going down. And then for you to challenge me and say, well, did you do it that way? Like, no, I may have not, but that doesn't mean the way I did it was right. And that doesn't mean that you should follow in those footsteps. You know what I mean? So I think there's a little bit of disrespect. There's like a little bit of boldness, like I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. That's just the vibe I got.
I don't feel that way just because first off, look, I have a daughter, and I dread the thought of
how old is Taylor?
This conversation. She's 12.
Okay.
So I dread the thought of this conversation, and it'll definitely be Aki who is the one who's going to have to fully participate.
I'll wait to the end.
However, our children in their generation is growing and a lot, just like we were a lot faster paced than our parents. As far as by age, they are a lot faster paced than us, and they are a lot more aware and have a lot more access to everything and to be able to get their own peek into stuff. Now, I am not an advocate of trying to lie to your kids and trying to tell the false stories of hey, you get with your husband or your wife, and that's the only person that you're ever going to be with. But I do think that you need to, of course, let them be aware of the dangers in the potential. Like, yes, there is of course some fun within sex, but however, there is, especially at a young age, a lot of opportunity for things that you do not want to happen physically and mentally to you to have happen. And so it's more about making smart decisions along that line. However, stepping back to her, I think in knowing her character in the story, the way that she's that type of direct, and their family has that.
They're raised that way.
Yep. Yeah, where it's more in the lines of she wasn't being disrespectful. She was like, I've taken the time to think about this, digest it, and really I think that this is like I think I'm ready mentally. I know it's a big step, but I really think that I'm there. And the fact that she was telling them instead of just going and doing it was actually showing respect.
That's my thing.
The fact that you actually, that it wasn't an after fact or afterthought. It was, hey, I think like what you want an intelligent adult to do. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. These are the steps that I got to this process, and this is why I think I'm going to do it. I'm willing to listen to any rebuttal you have, but it better be strong because I'm pretty much
and that makes sense. And I think you have to the context in it without having seen the show. You do have like the different relationships. So if you have that relationship with your family or with your child, then by all means, you know what I mean. But and like it just goes to context. It definitely goes to the relationships.
I know I'm an exception, not rule parent, because I know I prefer to have while I'm not crazy and off the chain, with my daughter, I definitely prefer to have that type of, if she feels that she is that grown, and I would prefer to have an open conversation like that than to find out 3 months later she's pregnant.
Oh, no doubt.
Right.
As the father of a 17-year-old daughter, as well as a 14-year-old daughter, I agree with Fresh. So ever since I say Des was born and Yasmin, ultimately Michael on the reverse end, we've had these conversations. If you like a boy, talk to daddy. But I think in that I've done my best as a father to be a model for whoever is coming along. He's gonna have to be on his game in order for her to even have those type of thoughts. And those type of thoughts will come with that conversation over, I'm ready. This is how it's going down. This is how we're planning it. This is what I'm thinking about. And this is the reasons why I'm ready in order to take that step. That's happened with boyfriends. That's happened with just even people that you like. It hasn't quite gotten to the, I'm not all into like who you texting and who you emailing and all the other stuff. But those have conversations that we've had from day one. Down the points for the booty game and the what game is and who's gonna say what. It's truly been a whole entire conversation over what he's going to say, what he really means by what he says, right, and what goes all into it. So you know how to decipher it to where you're not caught off guard about anything. And that's just been the relationship that I had with both of them, even on the other end, having that with Michael in terms of how he needs to act, how you need to approach a female, how you need to have conversations and what you need to do. It's been open and honest. So I haven't seen it to know kind of what her context was and how she came. But one part you said about dad not speaking up, dad speak up.
And that's the thing, man. That was the biggest problem I had with the scene. It didn't have anything to do with her, even though she was bold, but I felt like the way she communicated it was very articulate, intelligent. She showed herself to be a young woman, but the parents didn't have the right responses. So when Fresh pointed out the maturity level, the emotional things that go along with this, the possibilities of diseases or pregnancy, things like that, they didn't show that conversation on screen, and they didn't even allude to that being the conversation. So, I thought that was a big misstep that they had with that particular scene. But again, it was still interesting enough to see how liberal an approach was taken.
Realize you are, you have to be the greatest actor with your children, and don't allow your facial shock wind up deterring them from wanting to communicate with you about stuff. You 100%. Have to learn how to poker face when they come at you with something crazy or a real situation. It's about being able to show them that you're there in a non-judging environment and that you are there to help them through anything, and not ever putting them in the space of them feeling like, oh man, my parents are going to wild out, or they're going to, you know what I mean? Like, you want them to feel like even when they messed up, that they still like, I need to talk to you about it in order to, get it out there, understand where I messed up, and so I don't mess up again. We all mess up in life, but it's about, as a parent, you were there to help them grow and be better members of society.
Mm-hmm. That's been the biggest thing. I mean, Destiny went through all of her high school career and basically ain't had a boyfriend. Like, she spent most of her time with basketball. If not, she at work. She spent her time in her book. She they're not that important that I'm willing to sacrifice what I need to focus on to follow behind some dude. Whereas Yasmin ain't even made it to high school yet. And she already come home talking about, hey, I'm getting phone numbers. Like, hey, hold on now. Hey. Chill that out. Like, what you mean you getting phone numbers? I don't know what to do. Like, she get all flustered. But that's her personality, so she got to get parented a completely different way.
Yep. You've been sitting back, Coach K. Yeah. We giving you the floor. Go ahead.
Look, man. I feel like the mom silenced the dad because he was probably gonna go too far with his response.
You had to. You seen it in his face.
Happened. And then, look, I probably would have done what he did. You know what I mean? He went and saw the boy the next day in school. He's like, hey, you ever had athlete's foot? Yeah. So you would risk giving that to my daughter? Like, It's totally blew the dude's mind. Like, I could pass that on to her? Yeah, you can give her fungus.
That whole scene was hilarious, man.
That's me. Like, I would totally be in the kid's head.
I mean,
You have to though. As the father, you have to, right?
Like he, like even if they got to the moment, like I guarantee you, he's gonna have erectile dysfunction because I'm gonna be in his brain, and he won't even. I can't get hard. I'm sorry.
So there is a stipulation. I must meet him first. So whenever you have a boyfriend or anybody, you have to bring him to where I see him physically.
It will definitely be a bad boy scene in my house.
Thank you. I was trying to get there, but that's
And
the best way to handle it.
the other thing is in this show, she is definitely the aggressor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
She being the wife.
No, the daughter.
no,
the daughter, the youngest daughter, is
the
like,
youngest daughter, she's the aggressor
Okay.
in the couple.
she's the one who's gonna break away from the family and become a villain.
So she pretty much told him, "Hey, we gonna do this."
Yeah.
Rasputia.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the same girl. No, definitely not Rasputia. This is the same girl that last week we were talking about. She was up on the roof right outside her bedroom window, smoking.
Right. It's crazy how liberal that household is, man.
And then the week before that, she was drunk at school.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I
And
don't
her
think
daddy,
that the parents know.
her
about
daddy's the principal of
smoking.
it.
Man, she need a butt
They know about the smoking or the drinking yet. I don't think that they are keen on that.
That's
yet.
the
Even though
pastor.
I still don't understand how you have the front, your room faces the front of the house, like out into the public street, and you go sit on the fucking thing.
Roof and just like the dude. Like they have to know. I don't know. I just kind of assumed
That's
that
What you
Because-
doing
and then-
up there?
when you look at that, so obviously marijuana isn't in the same stigma across the nation as it used to be. But when you look at that, and granted, yeah, she way too young to be doing that in my house on my roof or whatever. But would you like how do you kind of go about it? Because if she does it behind your back or out in the streets or whatever versus in the home.
Look, I am definitely more accepting of marijuana than alcohol, especially at a young age. By no means is it like I'm about to be, rolling J's with my daughter by any means. But I would,
16-year-old daughter.
if you feel that you are, it's just like with the sex. If you're real, I want to be able to have enough of an open forum that if that's really what you feel, okay, then let's go ahead and experience it so that you understand. I would prefer that I know what you're doing, that if you can actually handle it and that you're not wilding out and that it isn't, creating some type of issue. It's just like, you want to drink, I'm going to get you pissed drunk. And you probably never want to drink again, but I would prefer to do it in a controlled environment where it's like, okay, yeah, you can get messed up. Yeah, you throw up. It sucks, right? It's crazy. This is what happens when you get the same thing, who knows how each person accepts, each thing, but I'd rather have an open forum.
He won't even know she was drinking.
So again, as the father of a 17-year-old daughter, who is on her way to freshman year in college, that has been a conversation that my wife had for the last year. And I have said, before she leaves out of here, she needs to get drunk. I need to know whether she a sleeper, whether she take her clothes off, whether she's crazy, whether she cry. I need to know that before I put her on a campus.
Yep.
And I need her to know her limit. I need to know whether she. I need to know all that.
Did your wife say that that's how your daddy and I got together? I drank some oil. And I haven't been him since.
Well, I would say she knows the importance because I told her not to drink the oil. I specifically made it a point. Don't get anything from anybody except for me. I don't care who it is. You want something to drink? I get it for you.
I will go.
And that's the same thing I've had to tell
It's
them.
nothing wrong with the oil, man. It's designed to make you run smooth.
So are you gonna make her some oil, Mike?
No, we going straight vodka first, and then she had to get the oil on her own.
That is quite interesting because the reason why I didn't drink until I was 21 was because I saw so much drinking and saw the fights, saw the arguments.
When you are any family that I've seen, when they hide it and try to act like they're the biggest, we don't do any of that stuff and it's so wrong. Their kids are 10 years old drinking and smoking in the back of the house with nobody knowing.
Preacher's son,
I was gonna say, hey,
preacher's son syndrome, or
There
preacher's
are
daughter
some
syndrome.
people who can handle it, but there are also some people that, man, if you don't know what's going on, it can ruin your life. That when you experience and understand grown things are for grown people. All right, I need to wait until I'm grown to be able to make that decision. Kids get that. They see that. They understand that. When you try to hide it and act like it's this, oh no, we never, and they're like, I want to, what is move? I want to see what that is.
Hey, Faison, did you say that you saw the arguments and how people would get when they drank?
Oh yeah, uncles and cousins. Yeah.
Oh, that's because those gangsters in your family was drinking MD 2020 and Thunderbird and all of that stuff.
Wild Irish.
Rose.
Yeah. All right, two questions. One, what is oil?
Gotta have it.
It's
Next time we all meet up.
It is.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Don't ever drink it.
Bring your pillow.
I got you, bro. I promise it's gonna be some of the best drink you
Oil.
ever had.
Yeah,
You're gonna be a well-oiled machine.
Make sure you bring
Promise
your,
you, bro.
make sure you bring your ladle to get everything out the bottom.
Oh, hey,
I'm gonna have the fruit
Make sure-
and everything,
make
man.
sure
Like,
you write down all your like your name, your social security number, write all that down on the index card and just keep it on your person.
But second question: is there
I almost
a
gonna take some dog tags made before you.
is there a too open? Like Mike and Fresh seem to be on the open forum with their children. So like, is there a point where there's steps out of parent child to like friend? Because I've heard stories to where you don't want to be a friend to your child. You want to be a parent.
Look, that has nothing to do with being open. You still, I want to know everything, and I'm willing to, but that doesn't stop me from, just because I'm okay with marijuana use and I don't see like it being like the virus of America, doesn't mean that I expect my 10-year-old daughter to just walk in the house smoking a J like in front of my dad or something crazy. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's an open forum, I still understand I'm the parent and she's the child. You know, that in being aware, that doesn't create a space of that. There are parents who get that confused, and that's where they mess up, is in wanting to have that open forum. They get into that buddy friend zone, and you have to, at the end of the day, you are the parent. You are still creating a new member of society. And you should always be trying to think of it as, even though I'm the general of this army, I still got to make these amazing soldiers. And I still want them to love and respect me and feel like, you know, we can go to war together, but I still need to know that if I get taken down, they're going to be able to hit the battle zone just as good and actually better than me. Like, that's the purpose of me, is making her better than I am. And the things, the non-book related things, the life lessons, the just like in general how to treat people type essences.
100%. I mean, and it goes both ways in terms of the openness. As much as I want you to come to me and have a conversation about things that you think about, I'm gonna have the same conversation with you when you effing up. Like, it ain't, no, you need to think through this. That was stupid. So this is what you need to do. Like, we've gotten to a point now where they're old enough that they understand what cussing means. Yeah. So when it really needs to get down to it, hey, you might get cussed out. I
cussed my daughter out last night because she didn't clean the bathroom properly. But look, she was cussed out and understood. And my daughter is, unlike most kids who are 10, or 12, she doesn't cuss. She's not you know, like she isn't that type of kid. So like, if I cuss at her, she takes it, she internalizes it like, oh Lord, it's real now, everything. But at the same time, I want those to be moments. I don't want to have to cuss you out about the bathroom ever again. So maybe if I cuss you out one good time, every time that you want to go and cheat the bathroom, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't want that cussing out again. Let me just go ahead and finish it. That's the goal.
Like, I mean, yeah, like
on this Black Panther soundtrack while I clean the bathroom.
Right, like Yasmin is cutthroat. Like, Yasmin will cut you in a minute and won't even think about it and walk away. And at some point in time, you got to tell her, like, right, like Dub, you need to stop acting like a bitch. Like you're not gonna have no friends. Nah, more open to people, more open to their ideas. That's your brother. Like you got one brother, and you left that dude on the bus with his stuff and just walked away like you ain't him at all. Right, and her response was, "It's not my responsibility to carry his stuff." Whoa, that's your brother.
That's your brother.
Really? Like if that was reversed, and she got to think about it. You got to check them. You can't just let things go. But her,
in case you actually listen to this as you commute back and forth to work, I love you.
Oh, she know. She done told me I need to stop calling her that. I'm telling her like she need to stop acting like it then.
I just don't want Vaughn to cut me because I said she must be like.
Hey, does that still fly? I didn't call you, and I said you was acting like one. Does that still fly with women?
It depends
When
on
you talking to your daughter, yeah, dude.
Like if I said that,
I think he's saying it to his wife.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, could you pull that with Vaughn? Like,
hell no, man. You know what her job is? I will be disappeared in a minute. No DNA.
Hey, did y'all notice how Mike started whispering?
That volume just happened.
That's what y'all get right there.
I'm about to say it wasn't even me. It was, hey, something was wrong with the feed.
That's funny. Yeah, I be disappeared, man. We ain't crazy. You know the boundaries. Like I made those three. I didn't make her. Yeah,
Facts.
So there you go, Jay. I mean, it's a line that you got to tote, man. The communication has to be there as a parent, but you still gotta be the parent. Like your word does have to be law at some point, or you end up with the wild and crazy kids, man. I forget what that video used to be, man. It was way back in like the 90s or early 2000s. No, not Bebe's kids. It was basically like a Mardi Gras type video where you have the girls are going crazy and doing all this crazy shit when they go off to college or whatever. You know, when you give them too much freedom,
girls going wild.
Girls going wild. That's what it is.
Or
give
you
them too
end
much
up
freedom.
Like old boy from Dr. Phil smacking his moms.
man, that dude would have got a.
How do you like it, bruh?
Smack moms?
I wish. Man. Do you know if I had to slap my mom, like I wouldn't even just the cock back like that. My dad would have came flying like off screen somewhere.
Moms wouldn't have to do anything. Like siblings, cousins would have came.
That'd have been over.
That's funny. That's really funny because right now, Nnamdi's in his playing stage and he's just wilding out as a little kid. First thing I did was right by his hands, like, don't you ever hit your.
You have to.
He was like, what? Now say sorry. And like that was it. And he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember my dad and mom used to play they used to play the Yo Mama game. So my mom and dad would always go back and forth with each other. Like in Alaska airport, there's a big wildebeest that's in the airport, you know, stuffed. And so, you know, walking by my mom, hey, what's that over there? My dad, what? Yo mama? You know, so that was the game that they would always play. One day, I decided I was going to step into the game. Try to be funny. Oh, hi, look at the wildebeest. That's your mama. Don't you ever talk about any of your grandparents. Watch your way. I do remember that day.
You got to do it, man. You can't even think. I couldn't even think about that. I remember one time, man, I tried to like stand tall to my mom, and it was like playing the open chess game. Bow! Like to knock the wind.
I remember when my brother got
hit
in the chest by my dad for the first time. Like the first time, like I saw like in my face, my dad just give my brother just a quick, just look. I watched my brother fold like groceries. This the brother who has like torn me down to pieces on numerous occasions. I'm like, he folded him like groceries. It was like he just man.
See, CJ, that's why we was talking about it a while ago, man. You can't let them win, bro. Because if you do, it's
you talking about like that getting dunked on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I told y'all the worst thing that ever happened to me is that I had a grandmother that had a photographic memory and she loved boxing. She loved Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I remember one day I just went to talk back. I got jabbed twice and hooked.
What?
And I was about to fall out. She grabbed me
stood over him like, went ahead.
Don't you ever do nothing like that again, boy. I'll take you out. I will take you out. Pretty much.
So we talked about it from the daughter perspective though, but does that conversation change a little bit, if at all, if it's the male?
No, I'd even get even more graphic with him.
Yes, I did not. If I made it, as long as I did, to find my wife and have my child, I do not want him to come home telling me that he mistakenly got somebody pregnant.
Like that's the thing about it. It's both like that is such a heavy burden, a child with a child. Like I do not want that for not at all. Like and it's always so crazy how much society is based on children who are raised by children right now. That's one of the biggest issues is you can't teach and create a new member of society if you haven't even experienced life itself. And how much you cheat yourself by having a child so young because you don't have the experience in order to raise them correctly and really show them the way.
You ain't lied. You ain't never lied.
That's gonna be a conversation that's had. Like, look, don't go out there messing up, and sowing your royal oats. Noticed. Look at your head. Look at my head. We can't deny.
Some real talk. Hey, self-love is okay.
Our family.
Here's a stack of magazines. Here's a couple websites. Like,
but what if he pulls what old girl did in the show? Oh, so that's what you did.
It ain't even
pull that with me.
Yeah, it's like even a conversation to where even if they asked,
bro, I was 40 when you were born.
Right, but even for me, it's like it's the openness of me telling you that I'm trying to give you everything that I know now before you get to my age. So even if you ask if I did it, that has no relevance to what the hell you do. Like I've done all other stuff.
I'm not trying to be a dictator in my house, and no, of course I've enjoyed it with a few various people. However, I also have had times when I was scared to death that there was going to be a real issue.
Scares ain't no joke, man.
Totally negated every ounce of excitement I had in that moment with the repercussions or potential reportions that came
As
after.
my grandmother used to tell me, 5 minutes of nastiness gives you a lifetime of problems.
Right, and you go even in first.
Blessed to never have any type of STD, but I can only imagine the terror of please, man, play with fire if you want to, but let me tell you, to get burnt.
And you getting the whole conversation over like, man, you can have it, but then you got to deal with the phone call, and you got this, you trying to break up with it, and you got this and that, and all that. Man, you don't need all them.
Show your kid STD pictures. Show them all of them.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of it. Yep.
And all of that good stuff.
Sir, you scared the hell out of it.
Clap it up. Show that comedian.
Did it work? Did it work like happened?
So that was gonna be my next question, because like I don't ever remember having this conversation like formally with my father or my mother. And
are you the oldest child?
I am.
I'm the only.
I remember my dad asking me questions about having sex and using condoms and things like that, but nothing where it was like such open lines of communication. And then my mom would like drop hints every so often here and there, and then I think like at one point it just kind of became known like, okay, yeah, he must be, because of, I guess, I started walking around the house.
Look at the way he walks.
Something different when you finally do it. Like,
you over there bouncing. Second,
I have steak tonight. I want steak.
Did this boy just take the chicken breast? He took the dirty piece of chicken.
And I've always been on the chicken breast, so I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, so I didn't have that conversation. So like having it with my son, first of all, I think it would be a lot easier to have it with my son versus my daughter, even though I would still be able to have it. But having the experiences that I've had, having a child out of wedlock, like there's so much more I can put into that conversation, so much more experience I can put into that conversation, along with the scary pictures and everything that I can kind of give him to help deter him from, enjoying the sins of the father. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was going to ask you guys, if you did have that conversation, what did it look like?
Just start it. I mean, you got to get over the whole icky and uncomfortable feeling. You just got to get into it. Use whatever language you need to use to keep.
He's asking if you had that conversation.
No, I'm talking about.
He ain't asking about you saying it to your daughter. He's asking if you have that. You had that conversation with your parent because my brother was more my teacher in that realm. I don't remember that conversation but I had an older brother, and so it was more like.
That's because your dad's like,
Your dad was celebrating.
Boomerang.
Facebook posts and everything. You coordinating over there. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, you know them Adams boys. You know we like to play that thing. We should have all been plumbers.
Don't disappoint me, son.
I'm the same with Fresh.
Lay it down.
Like my brother was 10 years older than me, and we shared the room. So I mean, it gets
Put your workout gloves
you
on.
like, hey man, you get on that bed, you shut your mouth. And
You don't say nothing.
And I'm in the room while he with girls. Like, man, what the hell is this?
Don't put your thing in her mouth.
And then at the same time, we walking through the mall, and like I see situations where it's the girl like, hey, you know, you don't remember me? Oh, you don't want to talk to me now? You was talking. So that whole thing of understanding how you can get caught in public, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Seeing it all.
That scarred me to a point where it's like, hey, if she ain't nobody that I want to be walking up on me in the mall, no, I don't know you.
Better be smart.
I guess as the only child, my mom and dad didn't have it. I think my mom knew. My dad wasn't there, but my stepdad gave me the talk and was like, here's some condoms. You know, you go out there and be safe. You know, he told me he had kids out of wedlock. You know, this is what you want. You're better than this. And he told me the steps to make sure that things were going right, and doing it. But you know, the conversation isn't what it is now. It was very like couple words here, couple words there, and then a look.
Hey boy, yep. Put it in the pot. Okay, I know. Yeah.
You have it.
Okay.
The internet wasn't like you couldn't pull out pictures. Right. You couldn't do all the stuff you can do now. Like before, it was kind of like you didn't have it in your advantage. Now you can actually sit down.
Oh man, now you got to have that Me Too conversation with them and everything because you know, like,
that's totally different.
Totally different landscape now.
16 is now. It's like the crazy part is that like, you know, before 18 was age and it was 16, then it was 14. Like 14 is down to 10. It's like you got like the fence saying, listen, you don't rush. Don't follow your friends doing it. That's cool. You don't gotta do that. Like it's just a different conversation. You gotta hold with them because there's just so much that's just out there in their face now. It's so public. Everything's there. There's no more taboo.
Everything is accessible, and everything that you try to. Oh man, if you smoke cigarettes, your head will blow up. That's what happened. All of a sudden, they can go right online and what do you mean? I just search on Google and there's 8 people smoking and that you have to. That's what it's created. You have to be open like that now, and you have to be willing to have the conversation and the complete conversation. But it's healthier that way.
Mm-hmm. Don't even need Playboy magazine. Just wait for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue to come out.
Or the naked.
Playboy. There's so many websites that are on phones now.
I remember my joint was Frederick's to Hollywood.
Yeah, it's to the point. It's so wide open now that Playboy doesn't even have naked people in Playboy anymore.
Right. I remember my mom told me she was going to give me Playboy for the articles. Like, okay.
Thank you, Mom. Can you make a double subscription?
The gold issue.
So I got another question.
VHS DVDs or find the old VHSs. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hey, before you ask your question, I just want you to know we probably are going to get an R rating on this particular podcast episode.
Oh yeah, I got to make sure I put that E with the red box around it on this one, man. So the content is labeled correctly.
Mature audiences only.
Damn, I lost it. No. So
NSFW.
Huh? Another bomb dropped on the 13th floor. So when you talking to your son nowadays, knowing that kind of how, well, I can say it for myself, how we kind of grew up in sex and everything, how do you guide him? Is it to go sow your royal oats, not spread your seed, but have your fun? Or is it, stick to someone you may have like true feelings for, respectability, things of that nature?
That's tough.
Man, you gotta open it for anybody, and it doesn't mean that you need to go and be loose and sleep with 1,000 people, But I mean, it's just like my thoughts on marriage. You can't marry anybody you haven't, lived with, slept with, and understand them, fully in and out. And it's the same thing in life. You can't expect that, it might be the first person that you experience is the one, but there's also the opportunity that, the first person you experience is an experience. And that's okay. It's about your journey being intelligent and smart in a journey, and not you doing things based off of, what's popular or what somebody else is trying to force you to do, or what, trying to meet somebody else's expectations. And so I don't think that there is, and I think it's mainly because me, myself, I don't know many people who have been on this one person journey, and even the people who have had more than, their fair share, it's still about the journey, and everything's an experience, but it's about doing it intelligently and not just going, I don't want you to go out there and be a wild person. But at the same time, I totally understand, like, especially once you do experience it, there's an opportunity that you're like, man, this is crazy, this is amazing. But you still have to be intelligent with how you move forward. But there's nothing wrong with it. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with it, but do it intelligently.
It's a part of the conversation. You're taking a level. So as soon as they come home and say they like somebody, they're like, are you having sex? Like, nah, that's what Fresh said about, work your facial expressions. Just because I'm dating somebody don't mean that I'm even thinking that.
Yeah, and don't push them. Yeah, you can't.
Don't put it in their head. Just, all right, y'all cool.
Because you do that move right there.
See Cheshire Cat we got at the bottom left?
their head is jumping immediately to, is that what a relationship is? That's what I'm supposed to do? I have to do that in here? Instead of just, there are so many kids who are in boyfriend, girlfriend, and they just boyfriend and girlfriend because they say they are, but they don't talk on the phone, they don't kiss, they don't hold hands, they don't do nothing because they don't know. When you start putting pieces into a relate that this is what a relationship's supposed to be, then all of a sudden their head starts going to that space.
Don't let your adultness get in the kids' way. Just like Fresh said, they could just meet at the locker third period. He's my boyfriend, and we exchange pencils. That's it.
Get your one of the greatest things I ever heard was stop just asking your kids how their day was. Ask them, because 9 times out of 10, great. You know what I mean? It was good. Ask them why it was good. Ask them what about it, like get into specifics and get them into having dialogue and being able to articulate themselves and say why they like stuff and what's going on, because that's what life is about. You don't want to have this the same thing that your parents used to get on you. I don't hear the water in your head moving around. Say something. This is the real stuff that goes on. You have to get your children to be able to articulate and say what they want, understand how to describe things that they like. Is going to help them out in life.
To that point, like we had that conversation about Yasmin getting the phone number, and we continued to talk about it. So days go by, weeks go by, to the point I'm like, okay, well, this guy's always around you. She's like, yeah, okay, well, he's outside of recess with you. Yeah, okay, well, wait a minute, like, who's he with? She's like, me and all of my friends. Well, are your friends girls? Yeah, how many? Like, it's about 9 or 10 of us. Okay, he's the only boy hanging out with 9 or 10 girls. Yeah, does he play with any other boys? No. Okay, well, does he do anything else with any other boys? No. Michael, does he play with anybody at recess? Nah, he always hanging around with the girls. Now we having a completely different conversation over Yasmin. Maybe this boy is not necessarily
your friend.
like,
Yeah, he your friend.
Does he walk funny?
Yeah,
exactly.
Friend.
So
he like to do the double dutch instead of the football time. Now talk to me.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it. I just want to know now. We just need to know. We need to get this thing out on the table.
And so now it got to the point that by the time we were done after 3 weeks, we realized that he wasn't a threat. So the conversation came.
He wasn't no friend. He wasn't a friend. Oh, that's my friend.
Yep. She said, "Daddy, you don't have to worry about him." Okay.
I say
Go shopping with us.
And Double Dutch, because it's funny the story of Double Dutch thing, going from Double Dutch going to play basketball, and basketball to football to video games, back to Double Dutch because your block only had girls on it. It made me laugh because my block was all girls, and I can Double Dutch the hell out of a rope. but then I can
I'm a double Dutch king too. bro.
Likewise,
go around a corner and
likewise.
I can lay down something or run some football and tracks and video games. It was just funny that it was just like, hey,
Hey,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Double
I
Dutch.
slap with that
ain't
double
nothing wrong
Dutch talk,
with it.
Jack.
Ain't nothing
I
wrong
was
with it.
out
I
there
got
double Dutch holding the sack.
five older sisters, man, and that's where our girls was at. So kind of played up.
this is true.
See, but you realize that as I could do this in order to have a conversation. So after you playing double dutch, you try to go watch movies.
You feel me? So it's like, I would absolutely be using that to my advantage.
That's different. That's different.
5 sisters? Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like you comfortable. He wasn't. He is not a threat.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh man. Hey Faisal, man, you was laughing a whole lot during that discussion, man. I feel like it was a lot going on in your head that you're not sharing with the people, bro.
Well, yes, no, there was a lot going on, but that could be a whole other podcast.
We got time. I think we got like 10, 15 minutes left on this thing.
We got so much to do with the crypto corner, and we got to throw in the arts corner.
You see how he running from the people.
No,
right? Running from the people.
all I can say is that I will probably at some point tell both my sons that freshman year is the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It's an experiment now. Okay. Are we
Freshman
talking about Roman experiments? Or are we talking about what are we talking about experiments?
No. I mean, just going out there. I mean, from my experience, and they asked me, I'll tell them the truth. But freshman year was, I mean, you're thinking about a double single, and that's pretty much the experience of a freshman year you can get. That's
So what he's trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is his freshman year of college, he had a double single room. So a room that was supposed to have
Double
two
beds.
students occupying it, it only had one student occupying, and that was a 6-foot+ tall Arthur Fesson, all up in the room. So he let you know there was juice on the walls by the end of freshman.
Wow. So I was just right. I was just thinking, it made me laugh hearing what Fresh was saying and kind of just going back through high school and through college. And I was just like thinking like, yeah, when I had that talk with the kids, it's gonna have to be filtered at some point until they're old enough to understand
Filter.
I can't give them the true story at 12. 16, I can give them some true story. 18, I can give them even more. I can't give them the 18-year-old art story at 12. I can make an animal.
They start getting into single digits.
Bro,
Then
what?
5, 6. When you go to kindergarten, we have this conversation.
But what did you do? You know what I mean? Like
What?
And Art was a whore, all right? You know what I'm saying?
He said,
That man he was the only room I knew with a security officer at the door. It was like a club. Always on.
You got to go back and listen to his biocast, bro. Like Art was a whore, all right? You know what I'm saying? Like every letter of the word, man. Like, it wasn't even intentional, but like, yeah, you could tell he had a very good time his time.
But I will say, guys that have had daughters first are completely different than guys that have had sons first. So when you had that girl, you see that girl that start playing back in your mind, all the stuff that you did.
Exactly why I'm stopping at 2. Because I know, oh man, the talks I had to give to her as a man to, oh yeah, she would be like you said, your girls are bulletproof. That she would be like, yeah.
Let me see what that text said, girl. Let me see what that man. This fool playing. Man.
From day one, that was one of the first things I heard. Hey, you know what's gonna happen to her, right? What? Mm-hmm. She gonna get. Oh man, that was a couple hours after she was born, and it started from right there. Like we gonna get her right.
Now.
Ain't nobody gonna be treating my daughter like that. I don't know. Oh man, she ain't about to be in
My baby.
back in no car seat. She ain't about to be calling her. She ain't booty call.
Oh. Yeah, that's stuff I don't even entertain that type of stuff. I just want her to be as informed as many
It's scary now too, man. Like it's different.
as
Hey,
possible.
So let me
I don't
ask
think
you.
it's that different.
All
I
right.
really don't.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Moderator. Since you said you didn't want to deal with it, are you going to take the phone call in the middle of the night when she said, Daddy, I need you to come get me because we did and he left and I'm here in the middle of the street?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, so I'm not saying that I'm not going to.
Oh, God.
Like I said, I want to equip my daughter to handle, herself in these types of situations. It's just the thought. So you talking about back seats and
That's where we was at.
If no, I don't. Hopefully, I will have equipped her with enough to make it through, high school and college with enough respect for herself, and she could do, have fun, whatever. But like to make good decisions that will not hurt her personally or whatever. And hopefully, I don't get that phone call in the middle of the night because somebody gonna have to die. And I don't know how to shoot. So I'm probably gonna hit everybody.
Hey, I did already figured out who I'm calling. How fast it take for him to get to.
I'm like, Carol,
I don't know how to shoot, so I'm gonna just kill everybody.
Everybody got to die.
Grenade, and we just gonna holler back.
Can you be real quiet?
I'm gonna let guys sort them out.
Hey,
Carol, you been real quiet.
What you call it? This is the warning shot right here. So, this podcast. They can't. I said it. What's today? February 12th, 2018. This is the warning shot right here.
Listen, man. Let me tell y'all something. You talking about me real quiet. I came home one day and I didn't know what a diaper rash looked like. And I saw the diaper rash and I was like, what in the hell? What? Telling you, I was about 20 seconds away from doing something crazy.
He said, yo, it's about to go down.
The phone rang and I was just like, hey, this is what's going on, blah, blah. This sounds like a diaper rash. Send me a picture. Hold on. That's a diaper rash. Oh, okay.
Who you got watching my son? I ain't with all of this.
We good.
We good.
Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta click over. Yo, never mind, dog. We ain't got to do it. Yeah, baby. So what you were saying?
Phase man. We about to wrap this thing up, man. So we coming to you for the Arts Corner, man. What you got?
Yes, sir. Today, never give up on anybody. Miracles can happen every day. That's a great statement and mindset that it's not about those who've passed their expiration dates, but never put somebody down saying they can't do what they're going to do. If they aren't in your crowd, move on, but don't give up on them. Let someone else hold the battle because you never know what can happen in a year or 6 months or 2 days from now. So never give up on anybody. Miracles can happen every day.
Never give up. Never surrender.
That 0-16 gonna turn into like 2-14. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, we going 14-2 according to Art.
14-2.
Never give up on anybody. Miracles can happen any day.
Kirk Cousins gonna take y'all to the promised land, huh?
Listen. Foles won a Super Bowl championship.
He did. He
gave up on him. They gave up on him when Wentz went down, and Foles just stuck with it and got better and better. Nah, never give up.
As long as they don't sign Johnny Manziel.
Johnny is done. They brought Josh Gordon back, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, moving right along. Crypto Fresh, man. What's the biddy for us?
What is going down in the crypto verse this week? Well, I always like to try to continue the education process of, letting the world know that cryptocurrency is just not a digital dollar. There are a lot of new businesses and opportunities being created. So in staying in that realm, I want to talk about two different tokens. Again, I told you tokens sit on top of coins, networks, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, two different tokens that are out here changing the way that people use the internet. One is Steemit, steemit.com, STEEMIT.com. But it is a social network and content rewards platform that makes the crowd the beneficiaries of attention economy. What does that mean in plain English? It's pretty much like a blog site, YouTube, where you actually get paid to not just post content, but also to reply and to provide your opinion on the content that is posted. So you actually get rewarded with money and can use that money, of course, to do whatever you please. Another great token that's out there expanding the cryptoverse is called current.us. Their coin is the currency token. And the currency token actually allows you to get paid to do all of the media streaming that you currently do. So that's your YouTube, your iTunes, podcast. Just like you were listening to us right now, you could be getting paid to listen to our podcast. Go ahead, take that and use it for potentially, your subscription for your iTunes or any other of a myriad of different options that you want to use your money or tokens. But all in all, that's what's going down in the cryptoverse. This week, it's about more than digital dollars. It is stocks, not slots. We out here, Crypto Freezy. Holla at me.
Easy. Jay Dace, Mr. Phenomenal. I did not forget about you, man. You ain't been on the podcast in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
I'm gonna give you an opportunity, man. Can you give us a little bit of Try for 52?
Oh yeah, man, no doubt. Man, so Try for 52 is really just it's in what it said. Try for 52. There's 52 weeks in a year, and every single week, I'm just trying to encourage people to actually try, and genuinely try, or to the full degree of try. And when we look at what it means to try, it means to pull out all the stops. It means to to move heaven and earth. It really means that no excuse is acceptable. So last year, I've seen a lot of people trying for weight loss goals or trying to do these things in their lives to make life changes. And I heard this phrase, oh, I'm trying. And then I just looked it up, and they weren't. So I really want to bring that attention to people and just make it simple. Because a lot of people think that, to go after something great, you have to do great things. And it's really just the small steps that ultimately get there. So a small step that you can do every single day is try. So that's what Try 52 means, man. Just every single day, find something that you need to quit doing and something that you need to try and do that every single day.
So where you at with your progress? Week 6. We 6 weeks in. Where you at?
Oh, phenomenal. I mean, 2 goals that I had last year, I was struggling with the late to work thing. It boiled my blood, man. I hated being late to work. Me and Tom didn't get along like that. So this year I had set a goal for 7:55 clock in. My shift starts at 8, but 7:55 clock in. I've been doing it faithfully. And then I got a 3.5 GPA goal, and I've been doing really good on that as well. I turned in 3 papers last week, and y'all know I'm bang with papers. So turned them in, and then I'm, just shooting for those, man. I'm doing pretty good. And the feedback on the videos has been great as well. So
would you say that the feedback's been phenomenal?
Phenomenal.
You gotta go.
What did you do
real quickly?
What did you do in order to get to work earlier?
Oh, I just woke up earlier.
You just didn't hit that snooze button that fit.
Like for real, I kind of just honestly, I just like told myself not to. I just said like, yo, get up. It's really just discipline. And 100%. I realized how important, how vital self-discipline is to success. So that's really what I did. But I know that everybody can't. Not everybody has that mental, power over themselves. So
look, everybody does, and this is an argument, not to cut you off, but there's
no.
Me and my wife get in all the time because I can go to sleep at 3:00 and wake up at 4 if that's what I have to do. If that's what you got. If that's what the situation calls for, like when it's time to get up, it is time to get up. And
that shit sucks though.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. You know what? I am not a. I'm a riser. I'm like Carol. Like I sleep because it's like my body's like, yo, you have to sleep. But it isn't like if I gotta go, I gotta go. Or if it's, hey, we gotta get up at 4:00 because XYZ is, it sucks, but it's what we gotta do. Why am I gonna sit here and dwell about it? It's like most things in life. Why sit there and dwell about them and try to negotiate with something you can't negotiate? You can't negotiate with what time you gotta get up. If you gotta get up and do something, get up and do it.
I
do it.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Try for 52. Jay Dace Encourages, man. Where you dropping those videos again, Jay? How can we get connected with that?
YouTube, at Jay Dace Encourages. Facebook, at Jay Dace Encourages. Instagram, at Jay Dace_encourages. Just trying to encourage the people, to do great things.
Hey, so how do you spell Jay Dace?
Oh, J, letter DACE. And then, like I said, Instagram _encourages, like the word. And then everywhere else, Jay Dace Encourages.
Details.
It's not encouraged, just like the act.
The turtle.
The turtle.
Hey, man, people could have been looking up JAI.
No, you're right. You're right. I appreciate that. Gabe. I appreciate that. And then on YouTube, if you type in Try for 52, I'm probably the only one that's gonna come up. So you know what I mean? That I would say you can go to YouTube and type in Try for 52 as well. Try for 52. FOR the number 52.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Get connected with the family. You got the weekly podcast from us on the 13th floor coming to you on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, wherever you're listening. You got Jay Dace Encourages. You dropping them joints on Monday, right, Jay?
Every Monday.
Every Monday. Popping off. So get connected with the Fledgeology family. Coach K, take us home, baby.
So first of all, I just want to say I'm happy to be here on this podcast. That's the first thing.
We passed that, man.
Number two, Jay, I just wanted to say that I want you to be transparent with the people. You couldn't get to work on time. You couldn't turn in your papers. So you got engaged, you move your girl in, she wakes you up and she writes your papers.
Super facts.
Yep. And then back to you, Brett. So,
No denial either.
I used to have a substitute teacher that would show up in high school, and if you acted up, she would tell you to go look at a painting on the wall and don't stop looking at it until you find a family. Well, there were no people in the paintings on the wall. So I feel like that's what you do with me in these closing messages on some of these podcasts, because you try to have me bring it all together in the end. And we done talked about so much stuff. Like, so now I got to try and find the common thread between all this.
That's why you was listening the whole time.
That's who you is. You're Coach K.
You the composer, baby. What we talking about?
Maestro, please.
But,
Ping, ping, ping,
but
ping.
what I will do, because you put me in this situation, I will say, if nobody got anything else out of this other than our R rating for this podcast, please do understand that if you do not communicate to your children, somebody else will. So teach your children the value of communication, open communication from young, and it will not fall into the hands of somebody else. Communication is key. Give them the key early.
You got the key.
Why he do that, go on that whole rant when he already had something? You already had something.
It's cool, bro. It's attention, bro. That's all it is. It's just attention.
You just mad because I gave the people.
She does not write my papers. I wrote my own papers.
He said
my own papers.
So what?
No
You ain't even far enough into the semester to have no grades yet, so I can't even really hate you about the 3.5 yet.
No, you're right.
But you did turn the papers in, so that's half the battle right there.
On time.
Turning the paper in.
That's
it, ladies and gentlemen. We out of here on the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing.
Call it back.
The 13th floor. The 13th floor.